Hello everyone, myself Ellie Mehta, working as an assistant professor in computer engineering department at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Our subject is database management system. Our unit is 7, transaction processing. So today our topic is failure classification. So first is transaction failure. Okay, we have a logical error and system error. So what do you mean by logical error? Transaction cannot complete due to some internal error condition. Okay, because of some error, transaction cannot complete it. So this is known as a logical error. System error, the database system must terminate an active transaction due to an error condition. For example, deadlock. That deadlock I explained in the previous lecture. Okay, so because of deadlock, transaction is terminated. So it is known as a system errors. Okay, so we have a logical error and system errors. Another is system crash. A power failure or other hardware or software failure causes the system to crash. Okay, so it may be because of power failure or some hardware or software is failed. Okay, so because of this system may be crash. Okay, so fail stop assumptions. Non volatile storage contents are assumed to not be corrupted by system crash. Database system have numerous integrity check to prevent corruption of the disk data. Okay, so because of system crash, our data are corrupted. Okay, next is disk failure. Hard disk head crash or similar disk failure destroy all or part of the disk storage. Okay, so all part are the damage. Okay, destruction is assumed to be detectable. Disk driver use checksums to detect the failure. Okay, so it may be detectable. Okay, so these are the failures: transaction failure, system crash, disk failure. Okay, recovery algorithms. So recovery algorithms are a technique to ensure database consistency and transaction atomicity and durability despite a failure. Okay, so even though there is a failure, because of recovery algorithm, our database consistency is maintained. Okay, recovery algorithms have two parts: action taken during normal transaction processing to ensure enough information exists to recover from the failure. Okay, so at the time of transactions, okay, they ensure that they have enough information. So if failure is occurred, they recover the data. Okay, so action taken during normal transaction processing to ensure enough information exists to recover from the failure. So from failure, with this information they can recover the data. Okay, action taken after a failure to recover the database content to a state that ensure atomicity, consistency and durability. Okay, so it has a two parts, that action is taken during the transaction, and with all the information the system is recovered from the failure, or after failure they have to recover the database. So they after action taken after a failure, okay, to recover the database content to state that ensure atomicity, consistency and durability must maintain. Okay, so these are the two parts. Storage structures. Volatile storage does not survive system crashes. Okay, for example, main memory, cache memory. Okay, so this is the volatile storage. They does not survive because of system crashes. Okay, non-volatile storage survive system crashes. That are example: disk, flash memory, RAM. Okay, stable storage. Mythical form of storage that survives all failures. Okay, they are survive from all the failures, approximated by maintaining multiple copies on distinct non-violence media. Okay, so we have a multiple copy. Okay, if we have a data on PC and we have a data on a pen drive also. Okay, so if our PC is damaged or crash, then we have a data on our pen drive. Okay, so they, like this they have a multiple copies on a distinct non-violence media. Okay, so this is the stable storage. Recovery and atomicity. Modifying the database without ensuring that the transaction will commit may leave the database in an inconsistent state. Okay, so if we modify the database, okay, and without ensuring that transactions are committed, and after that this transaction is in the inconsistent state. Okay, so see here, consider transaction TI that transfer $50 from account A to account B. So if we are transferring, then from account A to account B, then it must be stored in the account B. Then our transaction is successful. Goal is either to perform all database modification made by TI or none at all. Okay, so several output operations may be required for TI, output A and B. Okay, a failure may occur after one of these modifications have been made, but before all of them are made. Okay, so if this transaction is performed, then if we are transferring the money, then from account A to account B, then if we are transferring, then it must be stored in the account B, then our transaction is successful. Okay, to ensure atomicity despite failure, we first output information describing the modification to stable storage without modifying the database itself. Okay, so we have to use the stable storage concept to store our transactions. Okay, so to ensure atomicity because of failure, okay, we have even though it is failure, our atomicity must be maintained. Okay, so to ensure atomicity despite failure, we first output information describing the modification to stable storage without modifying the database itself. Okay, so we study two approaches. First is log-based recovery and second is shadow paging. We assume initially that transactions run serially, that is one after another. Okay, so our transaction is serially performed. Okay, one transaction is completed, then another transaction will start. So initially we assume that. Okay, so first is log-based recovery. A log is kept on a stable storage. Okay, the log is sequence of log records and maintains the records of update activity on the database. Okay, so we are storing on stable storage. Okay, log we are storing on the stable storage. When transaction Ti starts, it registers itself by writing a Ti start log record. Okay, so if we are writing a Ti start, it means transaction is start. Okay, before Ti execute write operation, a log record Ti x v1 v2 is written, where v1 is the value of x before the write and v2 is the value to be returned to x. Okay, so old value and new value. Log records notes that Ti has performed a write on the data xj. Okay, and xj had value v1 before the write and will have a value v2 after the write. Okay, so we have a old value and write value before the write operation and v2 is after the write operation. Okay, so when Ti finish its last statement, the log record Ti commit is written. Okay, when we completed successfully, we write a commit. Okay, we assume for now that log records are written directly to a stable storage. Okay, that is they are not buffered. So our return statement is directly on the stable storage. So in log-based recovery, we have two approaches: deferred database modification and immediate database modification. So remember these two approaches: deferred database modification and immediate database modification. So first is deferred database modification. The deferred database modification scheme records all modification to the log. Okay, but differs all the writes to after partial commits. Okay, assume that the transaction executes serially. Okay, transaction start by writing Ti start record to log. Okay, this I have explained. When we are start Ti start is written. A write x operation result in a log record Ti x v being written, where v is the new value for x. That v1 and v2. v1 is old and v2 is new. Here we are writing only v. Okay, so v is a new value. Remember this. Not old value is not needed for this schema. Okay, here we are writing Ti x v1 comma v2. Okay, here now we are writing Ti x v only. So v is our new record. Okay, no old record is required. The write is not performed on x at this time, but is deferred. Okay, when Ti partially committed, Ti commit is written to the log. Okay, even if it is partially committed, we have to write Ti commit. Okay, finally the log records are read and used to actually execute the previously deferred write. Okay, so they read and they use the previously deferred writes. Okay. During recovery after a crash, a transaction need to be redone if and only if Ti start and Ti commit are there in the log. Okay, so if in our transaction we have a Ti start and Ti commit, then our transaction is redone if failure is occurred. Okay, so this is most important: Ti start and Ti commit. Redoing a transaction Ti, redo Ti. So we have to write like this: redo Ti sets the value of all the data item updated by the transaction to a new values. Okay, so we are redoing it. So crashes can occur while the transaction is executing the original updates or while recovery action is being taken. Okay, so example, transaction T0 and T1. Okay, T0 execute before T1 is execute. So here we have a transaction T0 and we have a transaction T2. Okay, so T0 executes before T1 is executed. Okay, so we have a serially operation over here. Okay, so below we saw the log as it appears at the 3 instance of the time. Okay, so here T0 starts. Okay, here we have a T0 start, T0 commit, T0 start, T0 commits. Okay. Here we have a T1 start, here we have a T1 commit. So we have a 3 instance of the time. If log on a stable storage at a time of crash is as in the case, so first no redo action need to be taken. Here redo T0 must be performed since T0 commit is present. Okay, so as I have explained here, for redo we have a Ti start and Ti committed. Okay, so we must it is must required. Okay, redo T0 must be performed followed by redo T1 since T0 commit and Ti commit are present. Okay, so second, this is the deferred database modification. Second is immediate database modification. The immediate database modification scheme allows database updates of an uncommitted transaction to be made as the right are issued. Okay, here commit is must required, Ti start and Ti commit. Okay, so in immediate database modification scheme, it allows database updates of an uncommitted transaction to be made as the rights are issued. Since undoing may be needed, update log must have both old value and new value. Okay, so update log records must be written before database item is written. Okay, we assume that the log records is output directly to a stable storage, or can be extended to postpone log records output so long as prior to execute of an output B operations for a data block B, all log records corresponding to item B must be flushed to a stable storage. Okay, so output of updated blocks can take place at any time before or after transaction commit. Okay, so remember this, the immediate database modification scheme allows database updates of an uncommitted transaction also. So see here, output of updated blocks can take place at any time before or after transaction is committed. Okay, so order in which blocks are output can be different from the order in which they are written. Okay, so see here we have a T0 start. Okay, now T0 A 1000 to 950 it is updated, T0 B 2000 to 050, so our data is updated. Now we write the data, so A is equal to 950 and B is equal to 2050. It is very easy. Now our transaction is committed, T0 is committed. Okay, now T1 is start. Now we are writing data T1C 700, here we are writing 600, so output is 600. Okay, now T1 is committed. Okay, so this is the log and this is the write operation. So output is B, C and A. Okay, here we are writing A, B and C. Now see here, order in which the blocks are output can be different from the order in which they are written. So here we get output B first, C and A. So it is not necessary that we write A first then output will A first. Okay, so remember this statement, order in which blocks are output can be different from the order in which they are written. Okay, so here our write operation perform A, B and C and we get output B, C and A. So this is the immediate database modification. Okay, recovery procedure has two operations instead of one. Okay, undo and redo. Okay, so undo restore the value of all data item updated by Ti to their old values going backward from the last log record to for Ti. Okay, and redo set the value of all data item updated by Ti to a new values going forward from the first log block for Ti. Okay, so undo means it store the old value and redo means it store it set the value of all data item updated by Ti to a new values going forward from the first log record for Ti. So it store the new value and undo is store the old values going backward from the last log record for Ti. Okay, so remember this undo and redo. Both operation must be idempotent. Okay, that is even if the operation is executed multiple times, the effect is the same as if it is executed once. Okay, so there is no effect of multiple times. Okay, so even if the operation is executed multiple times, the effect is same. Okay, as if it is executed once. So remember this. Okay, when recovering after failure. Okay, transaction Ti need to be undone. Okay, if the log contain the record Ti start but does not contain the record Ti committed. Okay, so in statement we have a Ti start but we have a no Ti commit. Okay, as I have explained, remember this, immediate database modification allows updates of an uncommitted transaction auto. Uncommitted means we have a no Ti commit. Okay, so what happened, see here, transaction Ti needs to be undone if the log contains the record Ti start but does not contain the Ti commit. So if we have a Ti start and we don't have a Ti commit, then we have to do undone, and transaction Ti need to be redone if the log contain both the record Ti start and the record Ti commit. So remember this, undo means we have a uncommitted transaction and redo means we perform when we have a committed transaction. As we have a Ti start but does not have a Ti commit, okay, so we have to perform need to be undone, okay, and transaction need to be redone if we have a both Ti start and Ti committed, okay. So remember this point properly. Now see here, below we have a log as it appears as a 3 instance, okay. Recovery action in each case above are, so undo T0, B is restored to 2000 and A is 1000, okay. This is A is 1000 and 2000. As we have a no Ti commit over here, so see this, transaction Ti needs to be undone if the log contain the record Ti start but does not contain the Ti commit, okay. So here we have a T0 start, I means 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n, any transaction. So T0 start but we don't have a Ti commit, so we have to undone, and undo means old value, so it's stored 1000 and 2000, 1000 for A and 2000 for B. Now undo T1 and redo T0. So see here, for T0 we have a T0 start and T0 commit both, okay. So it is redo, and for T1 we have a T1 start but we have a no T1 commit over here, okay. So for T1 we have a undo, okay. So for T1 we have undo, so C means 700, okay, and then A and B are set to 950 and 2050 as we are doing redo over here, and for redo we have a new value, okay, clear. Now at last we have a T0 start, T0 commit, T1 commit, start T1 commit, so it is redo. So redo T0 and redo T1. A and B are set to 950 and 2050 new value, and for C new value is 600, then C is set to 600. So remember these 2 points properly, undo and redo. Undo store the old value, redo store the new value, okay. When we have a Ti start but we don't have a Ti commit, then we have to do undo. If we have a both Ti start and Ti commit, then we have to perform redo. So this is the example. Now next is checkpoints. Problems in the recovery procedure as discussed earlier are searching the entire log is time consuming, so we have to search this entire log, it is time consuming. We might unnecessarily redo transaction which have already, okay. So unnecessarily we are performing redo operations. Output their updates to the database, we have to output their updates to the database, it is also time consuming, okay. So for that we have a new point, that is checkpointing, okay. Streamlined recovery procedure by periodically performing checkpointing, okay. So output all log records currently residing in the main memory onto a stable storage, output all modified buffer blocks to a disk, and write a log record checkpoint on a stable storage. So we are storing the data into stable storage. We are storing output all modified buffer block to a disk storage and write a log record like this checkpoint on the stable storage. So this is the checkpoints, okay. During recovery we need to consider only the most recent transaction Ti that started before the checkpoint and transaction that started after the Ti, okay. So scan backward from the end of log to find the most recent checkpoint record. So we have to find out the checkpoints, okay. Continuous scanning backward till a record Ti start is found, okay. So we have to go backward till Ti start is found, okay. Needs only consider the part of log following above start record, okay. Earlier part of log can be ignored during recovery and can be erased whenever desired, okay. For all transactions with no commit, okay, no Ti commit, execute undo, that I have explained. Scanning forward in the log for all transactions starting from Ti or later with Ti commit, execute redo, okay. So if we have a Ti start and we don't have a Ti commit, then undo, and if we have a both, then redo, that is same as previously, okay. So see here we have a T1, T2, T3, T4, here we have a checkpoints, and this is the system failure. So T1 can be ignored, okay. Updates already output to the disk due to checkpoints, okay. T2 and T3 redone, T2 and T3 redone, okay, as we have a Ti commit, and T4 is undone as we have a no commit, okay. So this is the example of checkpoint. Next is shadow paging. Shadow paging is an alternative to lock-based recovery. Okay, this scheme is useful if transaction executes serially. Okay, so our transaction must be in serial manner. Idea: maintain two-page table during the lifetime of a transaction. Okay, they maintaining two-page tables. Okay, the current page table and the shadow page table. So we have a two-page during the lifetime of the transaction. The one is current page table and second is shadow page table. Store the shadow page table in the non-volatile storage such that state of the database prior to transaction execute may be recovered. Okay, so we are storing the shadow page table in the non-volatile storage, so they may be recovered. Okay, shadow page table is never modified during execution, so we cannot modify the shadow page table. To start with, both the page tables are identical. Only current page table is used for data item accesses during execution of the transaction. Whenever any page is about to be written for the first time, one page is written first time, then a copy of this page is made onto an unused page. Okay, we have to maintain the copy. The current page table is then made to point to the copy. Current page is pointing to that copy, and the update is performed on the copy. Okay, so these three are the points. So see here we have a page table and here we have a page on the disk. Okay, so this is the disk and here we have a page table. These all are pages stored in the disk. Okay, so this is the sample page table. Now example of shadow paging. In shadow paging we have a one shadow page table and one current page table. Okay, so after writing 4, okay, shadow and current page table after write to page 4. Okay, so this page 4 is stored in the disk at last. Okay, so this is the example of shadow paging. To commit a transaction, flush all modified page in the memory to disk. Okay, so I would put current page table to disk. Make the current page table the new shadow page as follow. See here, keep a pointer to the shadow page table at a fixed known location on the disk. Okay, so we have to point like this. Okay. To make the current page table the new shadow page table, simply update the pointer to the current page table on the disk. Okay, once pointer to shadow page table has been written, transaction is committed. Okay, one is pointer is store over here, then transaction is committed. No recovery is needed after a crash. New transaction can start right away using the shadow page table. Okay, using shadow page table, okay, new transaction can start. Pages not pointed to from current shadow page table should be free, garbage collected. Okay, so this pointer is very important. Okay, so advantages: no overhead of writing log records. Okay, recovery is trivial. Okay, so we can recover data very easily. Disadvantages: copying the entire page table is very expensive. We are copying entire page. Okay, this is very expensive. Commit overhead is high even with above extension. Data gets fragmented. We are separating the data. Related page gets separated on the disk. Okay, after every transaction completion, the database pages containing old version of modified data need to be garbage collected. Okay, so old data are garbage. Hard to extend algorithm to allow transaction to run concurrently. Okay, so it is extend algorithm to allow transaction to run concurrently is very hard. So this is the shadow paging. Thank you.